Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about the time I bought a $30,000 Porsche. Didn't even know it. So it all started back in the day when I used to have a roommate named Jerry. And Jerry's a great guy, but he had a heart of gold, almost too big a heart of gold. So there was this guy he had met who had fallen on some hard times, and this guy was named Bob. So we brought Bob to live with us for a little bit. Well, Bob turns out to be a little bit of a con man. Bob, first of all, loved Bob. Everything was about Bob. And me and David brought him to SeaWorld, and every single thing, every time we passed by a guy, I'd be like, see that guy? He's totally checking me out. And I was like, oh gosh, whatever, Bob. And to the point where David, when we were at the dolphin pool, David goes, did you see that dolphin? He was totally checking Bob out. So we got a chuckle out of that. Anyway, we just kind of put up with Bob. So Bob was only supposed to stay with us for a couple of days. Well, that turned into a few weeks. And I happened to be going on a Nickelodeon cruise. So Bob had been telling me, yeah, my parents are sending me some money, and when they send me the money, I'm going to go buy my Porsche and I'm going to get out of here. And I'm like, well, good for you, Bob. So meanwhile, I'm thinking, okay, well, he's got rich parents. They're somehow going to send him some money, and then he's going to buy his Porsche and he'll be gone. So I go on my cruise expecting when I come back, Bob to be gone. Well, Bob is not gone. He drives up to the house in this brand new convertible, beautiful red Porsche. He's like, Kelly, I got my Porsche. I'm like, no way. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking in the back of my head, oh my gosh, this guy was legit. I guess he really does have rich parents. So I'm like, cool. He goes, hey, you want to take a lift and take a ride around the block in it? I'm like, yeah. He goes, hey, you want to drive it? I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, go ahead and drive it. And I was like, no way. So I'm in the car driving, and I remember playing on the radio was, all I want to do is have some fun. And I was feeling like the coolest girl in the world. I'm like, oh my gosh, Bob, I wish this was my Porsche. He goes, well, I just like to give back. I'm like, oh, you're so cool. Thank you so much, Bob. So then he drops me back at the house, and he goes, well, thanks for everything, Kelly. I'm off, and I'm out of here. I'm like, okay, Bob, we'll see you later. Bye. So on my way in, I checked the mail. And, of course, in the mail, there was a letter from the bank. And it was a little overdraft notice. And I knew it was an overdraft notice because I got these things weekly, so I was very aware. I had, once again, overdrawn my account. So I thought, oh, what the heck, let's just see how much I've withdrawn it for this time. So I open it up, and I look in, and it says, Ms. Brockman, your check for $30,000 did not go through. And I go, $30,000? So what had happened when I was on vacation, Bob went to my room, picked up one of my checks, not an ordinary check, no, a Flamingo check, wrote himself out a check for $30,000, had my best friend Jenny drive him to the bank where he deposited my $30,000 Flamingo check. Surprised I didn't raise any red flags at the bank, but there you go. And then he brought it to the Porsche dealership, said, hey, look, I got a deposit for $30,000 that went through. They gave him the car, and off he went. And the guy had a nerve to come and let me drive. Well, at least he let me drive my Porsche that I just bought. So that was the story of Bob. And I'll tell you what happened to Bob later. But I did buy, at one time, I did buy a $30,000 Porsche with a Flamingo check. Okay, see you later.